So today's lesson is all about plotting on a number line, putting things down on a number line. And for me, I actually like these. I think they're kind of fun. It's almost like a puzzle to solve. So what we're doing is we are looking at this problem first. Solving problems involving line plots. And it says the results of a catch and release salmon fishing contest are shown in the chart at the right. What length of fish was caught most often? What is the difference between the longest and shortest lengths? And now I've got a list of just all these numbers. Now, the first step is kind of the most annoying step. What you need to do is you need to look at these numbers and you need to find which one is the smallest. You'll notice a lot of them are repeating. A lot of them are repeating themselves. 24 and a half, 25 and 3/4, 26 and 1/4, 25 and 1/4, 23, 22. So I'm looking for the smallest number. I see a lot of 22s. I don't see any 21s though.
Yeah, there's one.
Is there one I'm missing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 21 and 1/4.
21
To the
Ah, 21 and 1/4. So I will start at 21. And what's the biggest number? 27 and a half. So I'll make it end at 28. So here's what I'm going to do on my paper. I'm going to give myself some space and I'm going to go down maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go down 5 lines. And I'll start drawing a line. And I'm going to number it. So I said I'm going to start at 21, right?
Yeah.
So 21, skip a line. 22, skip a line. 23, skip a line. 24, 25, skip a line. 26, 27, 28. Okay, I'm going to finish making my line now. And then, it's not just whole numbers, it's down into fractions, right? 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4, right? So, I'm going to go in and put my half point, okay? Here's a half, there's a half. Half, 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 half. And then I'm going to go in and add my 1/4 and 3/4. 1/4 is half of a half. 3/4, 1/4, 3/4, 1/4, 3/4, 1/4, 3/4. 1/4, 3/4, 1/4, 3/4, 1/4, 3/4. All right. So that's the annoying part. Now we get to the kind of fun part. So what we're going to do now is we are going to make a chart, almost like making a graph of these numbers. So everybody should have lines that are representing in 1/4 increments. Okay? Thumbs up, we got it? All right. So my small, I don't even care what numbers I start with. I'm just going to go on this list now. So the first number I see is 24 and a half. So here's 24, and here's my half point. So I'm going to put an X right over it. My next number, 25 and 3/4. Okay? Here's 25, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. I'm going to put an X right over it. Next number is 26 and 1/4. Okay? Here's 26 and 1/4. Put an X over it. Next number is 25 and 1/4. Okay? Here's 25, 1/4. Put an X. Then 23. Straight up 23. All right? Right over the 23. 22 and 3/4. Okay? 22, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Another 22 and 3/4. Just put an X over that. So now I'm stacking those X's. 21 and 1/4. Okay? Right here. 25 and 1/4. Ooh, I've done that one again, so now I'm stacking. Another 25 and 1/4. 24 and 1/4. 22 and 3/4. Okay, 22, 1/4, 2/4. Oh, I've done that one now 3 times. 22 1/4. 27 1/2. Okay, all the way down here now. 25 1/4. Oh boy, there's a lot of that one. 24 1/2. Okay. 22 1/4. 22 3/4. My goodness. 25 1/4. It's like a race now. 27 1/2. All right, I'm done with the plotting part. Now I got to answer the questions. And the questions that it was asking me is, what length of fish was caught most often? Meaning, which one has the most X's?
25 1/4.
25 1/4 was caught the most because it has the most X's. So my answer there, I'm going to just write up here for the sake of space. 25 1/4 equals the most. Then it's asking me what the difference between the longest and shortest lengths. When I hear the word difference, what does that mean?
Subtraction.
It means subtraction. So which one was the most, the biggest?
27 1/2.
So 27 1/2. And then which one was the least?
21 1/4.
21 1/4. And now I need to subtract them. Uh-oh. I can't subtract 1/4 from 1/2. So what do I have to do? Their denominators need to be the same. So to become a 4, what do I have to do? Times 2. So 2 times 2, and then 1 times 2. So 1/2 becomes 2/4. Well, now I can subtract. 2/4 minus 1/4 is 1/4. 27 minus 21 is 6. So the difference between the longest and the shortest is 6 and 1/4 inches.
Wait, if it gives you a plot already, do you have to draw another one?
Nope. If you already have a plot there for you, you have been saved some time. Okay. So, with that being said, if we now look in our book right here, it's showing a plot for you already. And it's called Number of Cell Phone Calls Made Today. And the first question is, what was the greatest number of cell phone calls made? Not which one was the most often. What was the greatest one?
40?
There's nothing on 40.
39.
39.
Oh.
39 was the greatest amount made. Now, there's a difference. You have to really pay attention to the language here. When it's asking you for the greatest means the highest number. When it's asking you for the most common, when it uses word like common, or words like often, that means you're looking for the one with the most X's. Okay? So that language there is going to be what kind of could mess you up. You have to be careful with those words. The other one I want you to just remember, you should know this. You already showed you did, but just for the sake of writing things down. When it says difference, it means subtract smallest from biggest. Okay? So now back to that question. When it says the greatest number of cell phone calls made, I look at just what my largest number is that has an X over it, 39. Now it says, what is the difference between the greatest and least number of calls? So now I'm doing 39 minus 25. I'm not looking at the X's. I'm not comparing their X's. I'm just comparing them as numbers. So 39 minus 25 is what it's asking me to solve. 14, right. All right, so let's do one more together. We're going to do 3 and 4. So on number 3, it says make a line plot of the data. All right, first step, find the smallest number. So I'm looking. My smallest number is 4, all right? So my first number there is 4. Then I have to find all the way up to my highest number, which is no, 9.5.
So you make it to 10?
So I'll make it to 10. Now, each line on here I'm going to do as a half mark for the sake of not squishing everything up. Nice having the grid paper. So 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10. Okay? I'm going to make my marks. And if I have the space, I can add in my half parts. All right, I've got my number line set. Now I can start plotting. Doesn't matter the order. So the first one is 4, okay? Put an X over 4. Next one is 7.5, okay? X over 7.5. Then 9. Then 9.5. Then 6. Then 5.5. Then 7. Then 8. Then 8.5. Then another 8.5. Then 9.5. 6.5. 8. 6.5. 6. 5.5. 6.5. 6. 8.5. And then 6.5 again. All right. Again, lots of, I'm using one finger to show where I'm supposed to be pointing to, and then my other one is writing. So, I mean, you have to be kind of multitasking to do this. Because the other mistake that you can make is maybe doing one of them twice. Maybe repeating it or skipping one. So you got to be sure that you're sort of staying on top of the numbers that you've gone to and haven't gotten to yet. So now I've made my line plus, so that was 3. So 4, it says, what is the most common shoe size? Well, I know that common or often means the most X's. So my most common is 6.5. Now, sometimes the questions will be, they've already given you the plot. Please always pay attention to the title of the plot too. Sometimes it's going to ask you to do some multiplication as well. So you have to figure out. I'm telling you these things maybe possibly because they're about to come up to you in about 4 questions.
Thanks for the warning.
Uh-huh.
Wait, are we going to do the problem?
Yes. Yes. So when you're doing these things, you kind of have to be aware of everything. You need to know what the title is. The title of this one was Shoe Sizes from a Survey. I mean, questions from here, you could get questions as much as how many shoes were needed for people in size 6, or how many people in all were surveyed. Then you'd have to count all the X's. How many people had shoes that were a size 6.5? So then I'm having to go there. Maybe I need to do 6.5 times 2, because each person, or how many? There's 3 here. So if 3 people have a size 6, how many shoes is that in all? That's 3 times 2. 6 shoes in all, because you have 2 feet, hopefully.
Oh.
So you need to be aware that there are more questions than just what's the greatest, what's common, and what's the difference. There are other things in there. So just really focus when you're looking at these things, because a lot of times they're going to try and throw you off and make you think like that question has absolutely nothing to do with what it's giving you. So you kind of have to be a bit more of a detective when you're looking at this stuff. Okay? I think it's kind of fun. I like the plotting stuff. It's a little therapeutic in a way.
Yeah. Except making the plot is kind of frustrating.
Well, yeah, there's the word tedious.